Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing good. I am outside of my house and it is freezing. Not super cold, but it's freezing. I think it's like -5, but honestly, it doesn't feel that bad because it's not that windy. Like, check it out. It's a winter wonderland. I really like it. And I'm watching my dog. She's out back and um, just playing in the yard and stuff. And I just felt like she needed some time, some freedom, just to be outside and enjoy the air. 'Cause she gets cooped up inside, and I don't think it's good. But and right now there's a neighbor over there too, so it's kind of freaking me out. So I wanted to start up a YouTube channel called Pursuit of Truth, and I've been inspired by multiple different people on YouTube, just getting me through struggles of life and also helping me figure out myself and, just stuff like that. And I'm a young guy, finishing up college and figuring out relationships and girls and stuff like that. There's my dog. Hi, Mel. She's good. She loves that spot. I don't know what the deal is. But so yeah, like I have all the same struggles like a lot of you guys have out there, and as all you humans have out there, and I also like there's just so much stuff in life that like we get confused on, and problems change and whatnot. So the first video that I want to put up on this channel, Pursuit of Truth, is probably the greatest thing that I can give anybody, and that's my testimony. It's what makes me me, and it's my life story, and hopefully my story can help make you all reflect on your own lives and take from it and just help you all think about what you think about and what you do. And so I'm going to give my testimony to you about my life. And so first, I guess I should say my greatest life ambition is to follow God and follow Christ, and to pursue the truth and to serve Him, and to find everything that's good in life and to enjoy the good and enjoy fulfillment and satisfaction and love and peace, and just to enjoy all those things because it's important. And to really be satisfied and really live a great life. Like that's what I want. And I find that pursuing the truth is the best way to do that. A lot of people decide to be ignorant of, problems that they have, so that way they can try to avoid their problems. But I try to, confront my problems and confront the things that are going on with me. Oh, it's freezing. So that's my life ambition, is to serve God, to learn more about Him, the creator of all things, and to pursue the truth, which to me means pursuing a great life. And so I'll start with my testimony. I was born in Colorado, United States, and a town called, well, who cares about the town? I was born in Colorado. And my parents moved to South Dakota, which is the Midwest of the United States, when I was really little, 2 or so. And we lived there for my childhood. My childhood that I grew up there, my dad built a house out in the countryside, and I had family there, and a lot of joy, a lot of peace. I had a great childhood. I was raised in a Christian family. The bad stuff that happened in my family, like the worst of it was like being bored and like not having like whatever I wanted. And I was a pretty good kid, and like honestly the worst part was me, like just being a little kid. And I was kind of a shy kid, and I cried. I was a crier in school, and I'd cry if I didn't get my homework done on time, like simple stuff like that. It's so funny. It's nice to look back and see how simple things were, but just having fun. And things like that. And I lived out in the country, and I explored, and I played army, and I, shooting bad guys, and pretended a lot of stuff, and life was good. I liked westerns. I liked war movies. I liked, hanging out with kids. I played soccer at school, at elementary school, and I had friends and everything. And honestly, my biggest things were just my emotions. Like, I couldn't not cry. I was such a emotional little kid, and it's like, I just hated that. And then I prayed to God, and I was like, God, I do not want to be like this anymore, and I don't want to deal with these problems, and so please change me and make me somebody different. And so we ended up having to move to Minnesota when I was 11 or so, lived there for a year, and then moved down to Nebraska, and that was kind of tough, moving when you grow up somewhere and then you have to move a lot, so that's kind of tough for people. So I had that, and making new friends and that kind of stuff happened. And you know what happened, though? Was by the time I was living in Nebraska, in middle school, I turned into a really outgoing person. Like, super outgoing, super fun. I was interested in people. And, sorry, the camera's shaking. I'm cold. Super interested in people. And I was into athletics, and I was into just being smart and being all that I could be, and being the best that I could be. Let's just check on my dog again. Oh, there she is. Hi, Mel. Okay. She's good. And, so, yeah, like, it was all good. I really enjoyed it, and I had fun and distraction from school and cute girls and, like, just being a kid. And, like, I was pretty, maybe naive, but pretty good kid. And, like, I probably lied to people sometimes. Like, we always, maybe kind of struggle with that. Or I bullied somebody once. And that was stupid, and I felt bad about it. Like, I love to love people, and I love to be myself and to enjoy life and have fun. And so, yeah, I did that, and we lost games, and we won games, and, like, middle school was one of my best times in life. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, I was pretty popular and a lot of fun because I really cared about people, and, athletic, good-looking dude. And so, yeah, my biggest problems at that point were, maybe, like, how to get girls to like me, and how to have fun with my friends, and how to be good at sports, how to be good at stuff, and also, like, I was starting to deal with pornography and lust and masturbation, and, like, feeling guilty about that kind of stuff, and, all that kind of stuff, and wanting a girlfriend. And, and I worked through stuff like that. And I got older, and I'm still working through stuff like that. And now I'm I'm not in high school. I'm finishing college. Then I went to high school, and it was in Nebraska still. We stayed in Nebraska until I went to college, and then we moved to Iowa. And I was in high school, and I still continued to do sports. I was in band, and I was pretty good at both those things. And I kind of still had those same type of challenges, but I was starting to think more and starting to grow. It's like, okay, God, like, I hadn't really tested my faith a lot. And it's like, why should I be following God? And, like, what's the point of following God? And are you real? And, like, asking, like, what's the meaning of life? Like what really is everything all about? Like, what's my purpose? And how do I be fulfilled? That's when I kind of started asking questions like this. And, I still struggle with those questions too, till today. And, this is really funny. I had to change spots. My dog, she just needs my love and attention. Okay, she should be good. So yeah, in high school, had those type of things, challenges and whatnot. But yeah, I was really starting to question God, and I was reading the Bible a lot, and I read the Bible throughout my life, which is good and normal, and, you want to get better, and you want to be good, and so I was, and, like, I understood the Gospels better, and what Christ came here to do. Like, he was a man, Jesus of Nazareth, who was born, apparently, of a virgin named Mary, and a father, Joseph, I guess, virgin, born of a virgin though. And so he grew up around Galilee, and in Israel, Judah, whatever. I know he grew up there, and he apparently, as he got older, he matured. He lived through life as a God and a man, which is crazy. And he, he started preaching and proclaiming the truth. Like, he would read the Bible and say, "I'm the man that in the Old Testament scriptures, I'm that guy that's come, your Messiah, your anointed one, and I've come to fulfill all righteousness. I've come to give you salvation, and I'm the means to your salvation." And basically what he was doing was he was telling people that I'm living a perfect life, and I'm going to be your ultimate sacrifice because y'all are going to reject me. Like, you're going to reject the truth, and you're going to be afraid of what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to bring you a kingdom. And people were afraid of that, and they just, they were afraid of what he meant politically. The Romans did. The Jews didn't appreciate what he was saying religiously, and how law wasn't important and works weren't important alone, but faith and trust in God was, and love. And he was right, but the Pharisees, power, people were afraid of him because of power. They thought he was going to do something. And, you want to be in camera. Here, go inside. There's one inside. Go. Whew. And so, they killed him. And, he knew it, apparently. And so, I believed in all that stuff, and I was reading more about it, and I've read a lot about the Bible, and I don't have a great memory recall, but I do know basically what's all out there, and I have a pretty good idea of the world. It's just in my brain, and I can't say it all the time, but I can say that. And so, but I was still, okay, cool, but that doesn't really help with me in my own life. It's what do you want me to be doing here? Besides just being godly. It's I can be godly, and that's fine. And so, I was playing a lot of video games. My hobbies are video games. I played video games a lot, and I got bored of them throughout college. And I'm starting to get back into them again, because I think they're a good thing to do. And I do sports, athletics, and I exercise. I've always loved exercising. And I've struggled with it too, off and on, but I've always loved it. I love the outdoors, and I love people and talking, and I love growing and getting through stuff. There's a lot of things that I love, and I love learning. There's so much I love, and it's hard. I've struggled with anxiety and depression too. That's kind of this later part of the phase, and I know I need to get to it. But in high school, I was figuring that out, and so I was reading through books of the Bible, and you get to Job, and you look at his life and how everything's great for him, but God decides to allow him to be tested. And so honestly, one of the key things I think about our life is that it's a testing ground, a training ground for all of us to decide, do we want to go towards constructive and building up, or do we want to go towards destructive things and tearing down and being selfish and whatnot? And I feel like God leads toward the truth of building things up. Holiness is good. Purity is good. Being good is what God is. And if you want that, you can be a part of what He wants. And if you don't want that, that's fine. You don't get to have good. You get to have everything that's opposite of good, which is pain, evil, torture, despair, depression, anxiety, probably. Any negative symptom is opposite of God. God is full of life, truth, and grace and love. That's what it means. That's what God means. That's who He is. He's everything that's good, and He allows bad to happen because, for one, we've fallen. We've got the knowledge of good and evil, and we're humans. We can't control ourselves. We're not fulfilling in and of ourselves. We need outside love to be fulfilled and satisfied. We're not gods. We're not self. We're like demigods. We're not self gratifying. we can't give life to ourselves. Like, we were given life, breath in our nostrils and in our lungs. We were given everything. But we are like God because we have free will, and we're in the likeness of God because we have free will, and we have choice and good. Like, we have the ability to have freedom. And so, you know, two sides of a coin. And you can either go towards good or go towards bad. Even if you think that you're doing good by satisfying yourself, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Like, there's truth and there's not truth. And so, you know, I was figuring that out. And Job is a kind of an example of that. Like, life can be great, but God also lets bad things happen to us to build us up. Go read James. James in the Bible talks about suffering and going through trials and temptations, and that it's for our good. Like, it's for our own good that we can build and grow. God wants us, like, we have so much potential. Like, God wants us to use it. He doesn't want us to be lazy and weak. And so, but then the biggest part of the Bible, one of the hardest parts of the Bible for me, is Ecclesiastes and Proverbs, but mostly Ecclesiastes, because Solomon is a ancient Israel king who God was going to give him whatever he desired. He desired wisdom, so God gave him wisdom, and he uses wisdom to seek out these questions, these really hard questions in life. It's like, you know, what's purposeful and meaningful, what will be fulfilling and whatnot. So he went and he did bad things and good things. He did everything. And all the women you can have in the world, they don't really satisfy you, and they tear you up inside. And all the, I mean, I'm not going to say it all right, so you need to just read it. But basically, he pursued women, he pursued pleasure, he pursued projects, he pursued, you know, work, he pursued everything, and he saw the futility of life on earth, and bad, and it's really depressing. So just starting there, it's so hard to get through that, that nothing really does matter, and in and of itself, you know, things by themselves don't matter. Like, nothing really matters except for except for love, and which God is love. Like, anything that's good is, the only things that matter are things that are good in and of themselves. But like that grill over there doesn't matter. You know, like the grill, it can't bring life, it can't do anything good. Everything's meaningless, and it is it's not sad, it's the truth. And it's not sad because you need to have good backup to that. You need to know the truth. You have to understand it and how it's actually meant for amazingness, awesomeness. And so, yeah, there's just so much crazy stuff, and I know that this is just my testimony. This is my first video. I'm just giving a testimony. I'll be going into certain subjects and making shorter videos too, and some of them will be long. Some might be longer than this. I hope to meet this like 20 minutes. It's almost there. So Ecclesiastes, in the end, was Solomon, apparently one of the wisest men in the world. God gave him his wisdom. Even the Queen of Sheba came and visited him and found that it was very true. He was a very wise man, so she gave him all that she could ever give him, tons of gold, tons of anything. And it's true, Queen of Sheba was a real person, and I don't know how historically accurate Solomon is. I believe, you know, the Bible is one of the most, your Case for Christ is a really good thing. It talks about the validity of the Bible and the validity of Christ and lots of things. We need to just keep pursuing truth, is all. But basically, yeah, like, it's legit. And what Solomon ended on was that the purpose of life is to fear God, keep his commandments, and all other things will be added to those as well, or something like that. That ending piece might not be it, but the first part is fear God and keep his commandments. And in Ecclesiastes, Solomon's basically saying the only things that really are good, like, enjoy the wife of your youth, enjoy, you know, that relationship there, enjoy your family and friends, enjoy, you know, having a drink with your friends, or, you know, I'm not really for alcohol, but it's, you know, that's good to enjoy your friends, enjoy the time you have with them, enjoy work and the fulfillment it does bring. Like, enjoy the little things in life, because those are the things that matter. Enjoy the weathers and different kinds of weather. It's just, yeah, Like, enjoy the little things. Just go read it. And don't get depressed by it too much. But yeah, so I got to that point, and I was like, that's really tough. Honestly, I didn't understand it. It's like, this sucks. Like, life sucks. Like, nothing really matters. Like, that sucks. But I found also that in and of themselves, like I said, they don't matter. For us, in and of themselves, things do matter. Like eating. It doesn't really matter in and of itself, but it does nourish us, and it tastes good. Like, taste is a good thing. And playing with dirt, like, in and of itself, that sounds stupid, but it kind of feels good on the hands. It's kind of fun. If you remember being a little kid, like, playing in the mud, it's, like, kind of fun. It just brings joy. It's meaningless pleasure. I mean, sex is kind of like that too, but sex also brings intimacy, which is what it's supposed to be doing. Bring intimacy between a man and a woman. And, like, you know, men and men, or women and women having sex, like, it's a perversion of what it was intended. Like, sure, you could maybe get perverted sexual satisfaction, because that's what it is. You're trying to seek a higher high. But pursuing your own desires leads you to futility, and leads you to bad grinding of the gears inside. It's not how it's supposed to be. I'll be making other videos. So, yeah, and so I got through that, and I went through college, and I've been struggling with Ecclesiastes, like, ever since then. And I've come to good thoughts and bad thoughts, and good thoughts and bad thoughts, and I think way too much sometimes. Sometimes we do. We all have to figure out ourselves, to figure out our problems and whatnot. And, like, one of my biggest problems has been relationship. Like, I've always wanted to get married, and always wanted to have a family, and always wanted to be a good man. And, like, that's a good thing. But I've made a relationship an idol. Like, I've made pursuing women an idol. And it's not good if you think that a woman's going to completely satisfy you. Like, God's the only thing that's going to completely satisfy you. And the truth is, like, pleasure, or, like, love and peace and joy and contentment and happiness. Like, those are things that satisfy. And you might get those things by falling into your own ways. Like, oh, I'm going to get it myself. But God is a God who isn't in competition with anybody. Like, He's not in competition for your love or support or for other gods. Like, He's God. God has to be God of, you know, if God is God, He doesn't need to compete with anything else. And in and of Himself, He's totally fulfilled and satisfied. And so, like, that's the way our lives should be. Like, we shouldn't always have to be pursuing more and more. And so throughout, you know, and then I went to a Christian college, and I need to learn more about being, you know, secular thinking and stuff too. And I've dived into that kind of stuff, you know, and it hasn't been great. I have, you know, I need to learn more about, like, atheists and Buddhists and Muslims and agnostics and Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists. I'm Jewish people, people who are still just Jews, not Christians. I need to learn more about them, so that way I can reach out to them. Like Paul, when he went to Corinth, or wherever the Greeks discussed their philosophy, he went up to him and he found a God. There's so many gods there, but there was this one that said, "To the unknown God," and he's like, "I see you all are really religious, and let me, you know, that's really good. And it is a good thing that they're religious. Like, they're trying to pursue betterment. They're trying to figure out what makes sense. But I'm here to come to tell you about that unknown God." And then he talked to them about Christianity, because that's what he saw as truth and good. And he saw some crazy stuff too, apparently. Those disciples, apostles of Christ. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. And, like, you know, what if it's all just not true, you know? Hey, that's fine. Like, as long as we figure out the truth, that's what's important. And so far, the most truthful thing I've found is God and Christ and the death that He did. That, like, salvation is a necessary thing. Like, we need to be saved from ourselves, I feel, because humans are corrupt. And I have a good understanding of a lot of things, but I still, like, I'm so young, and I have a lot to go and a lot to learn. And yeah, it's just, there's a fight there. And so that's my testimony. And I finished up school. I did engineering, and I'm struggling figuring out if that was the right choice for who I am or not. But I want to be a good man, and I want to work hard, and I want to be fulfilled and satisfied. And honestly, this is a really fulfilling thing to do, to make this video and put it out there for all of you to see and to contemplate and to judge me on. Like, some of you are going to be really hateful probably about you're going to be in opposition. And that's totally fine, because you are where you are. And I don't want, I want you to be yourselves. And there's going to be some nasty comments, I'm sure. And some great ones too. It's so funny. Most people really appreciate me, and I've come across people who don't, and I love it when people don't, because it gives me a break from people being so nice to me all the time. That's not totally true. It's like, I'm not that great. But, yeah, I'm just going to keep making videos and talking about certain subjects. But, yeah, and like I touched on anxiety and depression and stuff like that. That's really tough stuff, too. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff in life. And so I'm going to be pursuing truth and pursuing betterment and having fun and enjoying life. And I hope you all are too. So with that, I'm out. Peace out.